This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Alright. It's about comic books and movies, growing up with Rokusuke, Superman before Zack Snyder ruined him. Michael Keaton was the best Batman, while Christian Bale is just deadpan. No one remembers the other ones. Jeff defends Aquaman, Blake's just not listening. What? Jason impersonates Michael Keaton.
Some people just want to watch World Buzz.
Jeff nails another draft day.
Nailed
Blake's
it.
top 5 has 98.
I got
Jason
more.
just loves him some Kevin James.
Fucking Kevin James.
It's the history of bad.
It's bad.
It's the history of bad.
So bad.
It's the history of bad ideas. It's the history of bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's the history of bad. It's the history of bad ideas. Podcast.
Welcome to the History of Bad Ideas, episode number 196. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
Yay! We're here.
We're here.
After some technical issues, we're recording.
Finally.
Yes. This is day 2 at the Cincinnati Comic Expo in Cincinnati, Ohio at the Duke Energy Convention Center. Jeff, you having fun?
I was before our technical difficulties.
Before that, though, everything else is good? I see a guy with an old school Justice League shirt. I like it.
Oh, that is old school.
I like it. He has, I think that was Mr. Mystery, or what was that guy's name? The guy with the green and the red.
I
can't remember.
I don't remember.
I think his name is Mr. Fantastic. I'm going with that.
I'm pretty sure his name is not Mr. Fantastic.
You sure?
Yeah, I think that's somebody else.
No. Well, I'm going with it. I don't care what you say.
Maybe it's Fantastic Mr.
Mr. Mister?
We'll go with Mr. Mister.
What was their big hit?
Broken Wings.
No, I don't remember that one. Anyways.
Really?
I don't know.
Kyrie?
You heard the Beatles or the top 5 music videos thing. Come on now. You know that I don't know music.
I do know you don't know.
Was Not Was, still the best Beatles song ever. So, just letting you know.
According to your terrible, terrible poll.
Any awesome cosplay you think you've seen here? There's been a lot of good ones.
There's been, you took a picture of the Deadpool without the mask.
The scarred face.
Yes, that was good.
There's a Loki coming now, a female version of Loki. Can I get your picture? Oh, look at that. We're going to put this on our Facebook. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
See, just like that. Some people walk by, we take pictures.
Exactly.
Put it on our Facebook page at Bad Ideas Podcast. That's a Loki one. Blake will be here eventually. Still looking for him. Still waiting.
Yeah, he's got more important things to do.
Well, he did drive 16 hours, he said, in the last 2 days. So.
Oh, yeah. Chris and Kev were here, and they flew 16 hours.
Yeah, they flew 4,000 miles. Come on. No dedication. But we'll have a lot of different fans on later. We have lots of guests planned. Scab Jeff might show up. So there you go.
There's rumor.
There is a rumor. So I do like the Deadpool. I like the G.I. Joe booth next to us because they keep getting a lot of people coming in for pictures. I like it.
It does help.
It does help a lot. So I appreciate that. Now we're seeing the Mandalorians walking by. I like it.
They just look like a bunch of
Boba Fett. Those are Mandalorians.
Oh.
If you watch Star Wars
So
Rebels,
the only way to tell the difference is by the armor they wear?
yes.
Oh, I'm very disappointed now to find out that's what
No, that's not it. I'm sure somebody that knows a little bit more Star Wars knowledge will install that in you. But yes.
But the fact that the Boba Fett armor just comes from Mandalorian.
Well,
it's not unique to him, and I'm a little disappointed.
maybe it is unique. Well, it's gray and dusty.
Oh, it's a different color, maybe.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I think he was kicked out of the Mandalorians, right?
Costume contest announcement.
I think I'm going to go as a podcaster.
You might win with that.
I might win with this.
Remember to wear your headphones, though.
That's right. I got to wear my headphones. So, yeah, if you would watch Star Wars Rebels, you would know a lot more about the Mandalorians. Sabine's one of them. So, just letting you know. Sabine's a kick-ass Mandalorian and figure in the Star Wars universe. I don't think she's going to make it through the last season of Star Wars Rebels, but I can hope.
They'll kill her off.
I think they're going to kill a lot of people off, to be honest with you.
They should all be killed off.
I think Hera, the ship's captain, she's going to make it because she's in Rogue One. And this takes place before Rogue One. I'm sorry, Force Awakens. She's in Force Awakens. That's what it is. Sorry.
Okay.
Takes place before Force Awakens. So I think she'll be in it. And I think Chopper is going to be in it. So there you go.
They're going to be in what?
Well, they're in the... No, I'm sorry. They're either in Rogue One or Force Awakens. I keep forgetting which era this is.
So when does Rebels take place?
Actually, you know what? It's Rogue One. God, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes, it takes place before Rogue One.
Okay.
So, 30 years. And that, I see a... What is that, Jeff? What is that?
There's some X-Men and was that a Galactus head? Or a Sentinel?
Sentinel. I couldn't think of the name. I'm pretty impressed with that. No. The amount of work cosplayers use amazes me. Like how many hours they put into it.
Oh, I can't imagine the money put in to make the costumes. I mean,
I don't. The money is a big thing, but also the patience. I can't figure that out. I would have no patience for that one bit.
No, yeah, you're right.
Who would be your cosplayer? What would, if you had money was no object and you could do it? Who would you go as?
I have no clue who I would do.
Really? Groot would be fun.
You think I would be a good Groot?
Well, I'm not saying. Well, if you're behind a sorry about that. If you're behind a big costume, I don't know.
Probably the best thing I could do, like I always say, the only thing that comes to mind is I'd get one of the Star Wars X-Wing fighter pilot things and just goes Porkins.
You don't see many Porkins around.
You don't see many Porkins.
You could do that. You could do Uncle Buck with a giant shovel.
Why would I want to do Uncle Buck?
Because no one does an Uncle Buck one, I don't think.
I think there's a reason for that.
I don't think so. So, if money was no object, I would do Groot. The only problem with Groot, he's very tall. Like a lot of and I feel like that would really inhibit how you move through the floor in that. It would be a lot of exhaustion.
And you would probably have to wear some sort of lifts or still.
Yeah, and I don't know if I have the patience for that. I'm not coordinated enough to do that, to walk by myself. I'm not throwing stilts into that. So I did see somebody online had an Apocalypse one at another convention in that. I thought that was a cool one.
Did his arms grow?
I don't know. He's not Elastic Man.
But Apocalypse, that's one of the things they always show is his arms getting longer.
Really?
Yeah, that especially the cartoon, early 90s X-Men cartoon. That's about the only thing they ever show Apocalypse do. I'm thinking, I think he's more powerful than, look, my arms get longer.
So, the first remembrance I have of Rogue from X-Men is from the cartoon. Okay. Was she ever in when did she become in the comic books? Was she early 80s or was she at the cartoon stage?
Oh, no, she was definitely early 80s. I think it was late 70s.
Okay.
She started off as a villain in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Who doesn't start off as a villain in the X-Men universe?
And she took out Miss Marvel. Mm-hmm. And, had Miss Marvel's memories and powers or whatever, and it was driving her crazy, and Mystique wasn't able to help her, so that's when she went to the X-Men and asked for their help, and they're ready to fight the crap out of her, and she's begging for mercy or whatnot. It's a good issue.
I always liked Rogue from the cartoon.
And it might be, I could be wrong, but it might be the first issue where they say, on the cover they have the picture of Rogue there, and like Colossus is like opening the door, and Rogue is looking all scared, and it was Rogue, welcome to the X-Men. I hope you survive the experience. Or something like that. And that's like a running line, and I think that was the first time it was used.
Okay. I like that. I still say the most iconic from the comic books of X-Men that I can remember is Wolverine when he's all alone against the Hellfire Club and he's in the sewers.
Oh, yeah.
That was the Dark Phoenix saga, I think.
Phoenix saga. That's like the first saga I ever read.
I agree. That's the same thing with me. And I still remember that photo. That it was the first page of the issue, and he's in the. Or it might have been the last page actually of the sewer, and he's just staring at it. I was like, okay, I can get behind this character at that point.
Yeah, it's the last page of the one, and it's like, ooh, something's going to happen, and then I think on the next cover or something, they show him on.
And that's when he starts taking out the Hellfire Club by himself, basically.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
I think he was going through their rich people dinner at the mansion, and he was taking them out slowly but surely. He was taking out the red shirts, the ones that had the blue shirt, the blue leotards, basically. I'm seeing a Nightwing. I'm always impressed with a Nightwing cosplayer, Jeff. Look at that one. I always like that.
Oh, there he is.
I always enjoy the Nightwings. Well done. It's a pretty cool outfit. I like it. I think I could do Nightwing. A portly Nightwing, but I could do a Nightwing.
I suppose your body size really doesn't matter. I would just want something that I thought looked good.
I like the Porkins. I like the Uncle Buck. I think you should really look at Uncle Buck for Halloween. I'm just saying.
I don't think I'll try Uncle Buck.
You think there's a big calling for Uncle Buck cosplay?
No.
A big Uncle Buck convention?
Oh, they should have a convention just based on Uncle Buck. Or maybe just the works of John Candy.
Wagons East.
And you just have a whole bunch of fat white guys dressed in cosplay.
That's the thing, like, it's been we're older. I'm in the late 30s, you're, late 50s. And
thank you for aging me.
Thank you, you're welcome. Is there, does John Candy still hold up? Do people even know him anymore?
I don't know. I honestly was never a fan of John Candy.
I know you weren't, but I'm just saying, does it transition to, the younger crowd? You're like, oh, I saw Uncle Buck. I watched that.
I think some of his better movies will. I think Uncle Buck, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I think.
Great Outdoors.
I think The Great Outdoors should be buried and forgotten.
God, when that fucking bear jumps on the door. No, you would be dead. You would be dead.
And what was that other vacation movie he did?
He did Wagons East, Great Outdoors. Oh, there is Summer Rental?
Summer Rental, yeah.
I don't think I remember Summer Rental. I know I saw it, but I don't remember it.
Was that the one with Dan Aykroyd where they were brothers-in-law?
I think so.
Yeah.
Weren't they competing against?
Yeah, that's the thing, because I never remember which is which between The Great Outdoors and Summer Rental, so.
I never understand that little nugget in every one of those movies that they need. The subject is, we're competing against each other for, the summer and that. I hate that trope. I hate that.
Yeah, was it the Cheaper by the Dozen? I suppose it was two. Cheaper by the Dozen.
Yes.
That was the entire plot of that.
Steve Martin's family versus Eugene Levy's.
Yeah.
I never saw it, but my wife swears that the first one is good. With Steve Martin. Not the original, but the Steve Martin one.
Well, the original one is good. The Steve Martin one, it's better than the second one. That's about all I can say about it.
I don't think I've seen either of them, to be honest with you. And I love Steve Martin. He's one of my favorite comedians, but his late stuff has been awful.
Oh, he's very hit and miss.
Yeah. Shop Girl was not good, and that was probably his best that he's had recently.
Oh, wow. You didn't like Shop Girl?
It was okay. I like the book better. The book was short. It was 130 pages.
Did he write that?
Yes. Okay. Yes, he wrote that. Yeah. I did like how he wrote it, and it's like, oh yeah, it's my movie. Claire Danes is in it. Yeah, she's the one.
Why not?
Yes, must be nice to have that. I'm going to just hire somebody. So, but yes, we should be having more people stopping by here. Thanks for listening. Anything you want to talk about, Jeff? Any up?
Well, no, this isn't an op.
Okay.
This is, I don't know if you saw, one of the last things I saw before I went to bed last night, I saw a news blurb about how ABC has already canceled The Inhumans.
Yes. And it's kind of misleading.
Okay.
They are going to show the first season.
The 8 episodes?
Yeah. But they're not going to do any more.
Yeah. So they're showing the season, but they already said it's it.
Why don't you just put it on Saturday nights and be done with it?
because they've already made the commitment, but they put a lot of money into it.
Not good money.
No, but I suppose they're afraid to, that they're not going to lose any more money, but they've already made it, so they might as well show it and see what they can recoup.
It looks bad. I know you're excited for it.
I was excited for it. Then they released some promos, and Medusa's rough looking.
They're shaving her head in it.
Okay. And that was a good storyline in the book.
Well, they said the reason they did it is to save on CGI.
Okay.
Because the cost of moving her hair was, I guess, expensive. So they did it too.
So they're shaving her and getting rid of her hair completely, and
yes.
That's it?
Yeah. I think they said it's in for 1 or 2 episodes, and that's it.
And so there's no need to have Medusa in your show then?
I don't know.
Because, see, the biggest problem, it's not a problem, but in the books, I think, at one point they shaved her head. And I suppose they didn't realize that even after her hair was separated from her body, she could still control it.
Okay.
And I think she could mentally make it grow or something, too. So it's not like it's that as big of a punishment as you would think it would have been.
So she's like the Play-Doh head that you got to have the hair come through.
Yes.
I would pay to see that. According to the sources, it's not growing back.
Okay.
I could see it maybe in the last episode because they know it's not coming back, so there you go. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like on paper these guys look really impressive. I feel like on TV it's going to look really, really bad. I like Lockjaw, the dog.
I thought he looked good. And I suppose I'm more excited about Maximus, the main villain, is being played by, and I'll screw up his name, so I can't even pronounce his name, but the guy who was in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Played Ramsay Bolton. He's playing the evil guy in this, and he plays a good evil guy, so that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Is he still in Game of Thrones?
No.
Okay. Was he killed off?
Well, I can't spoil anything.
He was killed off. I'll spoil it. Oh, sorry, Michael Liao. Spoilers.
Spoilers. It was over a year ago, but...
Okay. And I'm not kidding. I have started to dip my toe into watching Game of Thrones. I would like to. I keep thinking about it.
Oh, that's dipping your toe is considering.
Considering how much I trash it, yes. And I trash it because I have no idea what it's about, what it's with. I saw the 3 episodes. Not combined, not together.
You actually saw 3 episodes?
I think it was 2 or 3.
I'm impressed.
I was on a business trip years ago and watched it. They were not the ones following each other, so I was completely lost.
Oh, okay. They weren't in order, and they weren't even probably the first one, so you joined midway.
I saw Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, he's in all but like 5 episodes.
He said that he was working IT, and he said he hated it. He hated his job, but it was a steady paycheck. And he said he finally had enough, and he said, you know what, I'm just going to quit. And whatever job I take as actor, that's what I'm taking. He's like, from now on, I'm not doing this anymore. And he did. And he got into a play, and then he knows the director, and that director put him in something else, and then that director put him into TV, like a TV show, and then it just grew. It's like, that's pretty, I applaud him for doing it, but it's pretty, easy to say, well, a successful person, just quit and then do it.
Yeah.
And I get that,
Well, and especially, with his physical, being a little person and all, where it's like, there's very limited roles, especially if you're in unknown.
Correct.
And you pretty much get degrading roles or whatnot.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of the roles for little people.
Do you think that other little people are pissed at him because he takes all their roles? I don't know. Hey, you know what? I think I see Scab Jeff.
All right. Well, maybe we'll take a break while we get him situated. So we'll be right back.
Put that coffee down.
Calling all film fans, want to add a little more fun to your podcast diet? Well, why not listen to the 365 Flicks podcast, where the lads from Smallville, UK.
We'll have to bring you the latest news, our own special brand of meaningless movie nonsense, as well as a bunch of top 5s you really won't care about.
I'm Kev.
I'm Chris.
We're Pissy.
We're fanboys.
We're having another beer.
We're the 365 Flicks podcast.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, Podomatic, and many, many others.
Also look for us on musingsofageek.com and wickedradionetwork.com.
Sick of listening to all those overpaid movie critics.
Then tune into the 365 Flicks podcast, your vocal heroes of pissy opinion.
Okay, so we're back. Scab Jeff is here. Welcome, Scab.
Thank you. It was crazy getting in here.
How long of a line was it?
It went all the way around the convention center.
How long did you wait, though?
About 28 minutes.
That's not bad.
It wasn't. It's about the time that you would slowly walk that distance.
Okay.
It was constantly moving, but driving up, it was very daunting to see like a line that went all the way around with all these people dressed in cosplay that I wasn't dressed up, so I'd be the only one standing there in this long line of cosplayers that isn't actually dressed as cosplayers. And I'm not sure that I have any idea where I parked, so.
I honestly thought you were in costume. You looked like the one guy from the record movie.
Empire Records?
No, not Empire Records.
High Fidelity?
High Fidelity.
John Cusack?
No, not John Cusack.
Jack Black?
Not Jack Black. Todd DeLuiso, or however you pronounce it.
That was awful.
That's what he looks like.
Well done.
I was looking pretty scruffy, so I didn't shave.
Well,
Because I knew my beard would not stand up to Jeff's beard.
No, God, no. We were
might as well not even try.
We were talking about speaking of cosplay. Jeff and I were talking about who would we dress up as cosplayers if we had unlimited funds. Jeff was going to be Porkins from Star Wars, or I said Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck could have worked because there's a big calling for that nowadays.
Everybody wants an Uncle Buck.
Not Wagons East though. Fuck Matthew Perry.
I'm not sure who I would want to dress up as.
Skeletor? Are you a He-Man fan?
I used to be when I was a little kid.
Fisto? You could have a giant metal fist. Of course, then you have to be shirtless.
There's really somebody named Fisto?
Yeah, he's right behind you. We brought the figure in. We brought the little... He's half a man he used to be because his legs fell off.
Yeah, we broke his legs, and we have him in a Cleveland Browns beer koozie.
But Jeff, show him his superpower. Ready? Woo! That looks deadly.
It looks very daunting. I would not want to go up against him.
Looks like something that I feel like Tara Reid would love.
I'm fine.
And with us also, Dev, the Psy guy. Welcome, Dev.
I am here.
And I got a hug.
Yeah.
And
free of charge this time.
I know. You're such a whore. Jeff got a hug.
I got a hug.
It was very nice. So,
Scab Jeff is married, so...
I'm married too.
No, buried.
Oh, buried. Some say marriage is buried. Anyway, so... okay, Dev, we've asked everybody, who would you cosplay as if money was no object?
Money's no object. I would cosplay as the Death Star.
Okay. I
like it.
Fully functional Death Star.
So that means I'd have to fly around them.
Yes, because Jeff was Porkins.
Oh.
So
perfect.
Yes. What planet would you blow up?
Alderaan, duh.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't blow it up more than once, so we got to find a different planet. Maybe Endor.
Endor would be good. How about the Gungans? Where do they live?
Tatooine. Tatooine's is out of the way.
Gungans didn't live in Tatooine.
No, Naboo.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
He said you should blow up Tatooine. I said the Gungans live on Naboo.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what's going on.
I can't. There's too many people. I'm confused. Ape Hands is right there. Look at that.
Oh, he's getting our picture.
Man, we are celebrities here. So, okay, so here's the big question from Doctor Number One. We've been asking everybody also this. Favorite donut? Not brand, type. We were asking every guest.
Chocolate-covered cream filled.
That's what I said. Boston cream? Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough. Probably apple fritter.
Apple fritter?
Yeah.
That's healthy. It's got apples in it.
Well, exactly. I can lie to myself.
It has fruit? Okay.
Yeah.
Like carrot cake is good for you too.
Yeah, exactly.
Carrot cake is good for nobody.
I love carrot cake.
Oh.
A good homemade carrot cake
No.
with cream cheese frosting. It's awesome.
That does sound good. I like carrot cake too.
Yeah.
I'll take the cream cheese frosting. That's about it. Ugh.
Although it does depend on who makes the carrot cake. I've had some that were overly carroted.
Right.
It's like, all right, maybe more spice cake, less carrot.
Is that a word, overly carrot?
Carroted.
Carroted? Is that a word?
It is now.
Okay.
I've never actually had carrot cake. Does it actually taste like carrots?
It tastes like garbage.
Like in all of...
I mean, it actually probably tastes more like spice cake.
Yeah.
Like in all of the cartoons, the rabbit cartoons always like the carrot cake. Would they like actual carrot cake?
No.
Not probably not.
Because there's no carrot taste.
Unless it's overly carroted, it's not going to taste like carrots.
So like any other cake, you eat it for the frosting.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
You know,
the carbs.
You know, if a coyote jumps off the cliff, he's not going to survive that either. Those are not based in reality.
But a real coyote likes to eat roadrunners, probably.
Do you think?
I would guess.
Do you think a coyote could catch a roadrunner?
That's not what I said. I said that it would like to eat it.
I'm just saying.
Like rabbits would like to eat carrot cake in the cartoons. But having not actually eaten carrot cake, I don't know whether that would be something that would actually occur.
I'm going to disagree with you on this. Jeff, we got a draw wall in front of us. Who's the other one, Dev?
What?
Who's she?
I don't know.
Okay.
She's got a lightsaber, so...
She has a lightsaber.
Padawan. Hopefully she doesn't run into an Anakin.
In episode 3, why weren't there any Jawa Jedis? Like they had like every other race.
Was there no Jawas in number 3?
Like had they not?
Oh, you remember?
Yeah, well, like when they have all the Jedis there, you see
like all the kids, even all the kids.
Yes,
none of them were Jawa.
Yeah. Maybe they were, but they weren't wearing the Jawa, stuff.
I assume that was like part of their skin.
Well, I've heard rumor, and I don't know how true it is, but people were saying that Maz Kanata is a Jawa.
Who?
Maz Kanata.
Maz. Okay.
Could be.
And I don't know how true, or I mean, that's fan theory. It probably isn't true.
It's true until you're proven wrong.
And I don't know any details about Jawa. So
culture,
and history, and famous authors from the Jawa culture.
I do have stickers here. From our beer sponsor on occasion. There's our podcast. Thank you.
Your beer sponsor when you're told that your show is clean enough to talk about it?
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Our beer sponsor when they actually supply the beer.
He got a lot of coasters for us today, so I was happy with that.
Good.
So we got lots of shirts. People actually want the shirts. I'm scared.
That is scary.
It is. So
did I miss the up down? Because I had a really good down that I was.
We haven't done an up down. We've been recording for I don't know how long, Jeff.
28 minutes.
Yeah, we haven't done up downs. What's your up? What's your up?
My up. Oh, I was ready for down. My up is Mother. The more time that passes, the more I like Mother.
Oh God.
I saw it, and
is this another La La Land?
No, it's not nearly on par, but it's like it's one of the best surrealist films that I've seen in a long time.
I have been waiting for a surrealist film for the last 20 years. Dear God, I've been waiting. Well, ever since Schindler's List, I've been like, when's the next surrealist film coming out?
Well, I can see the red dress being kind of surrealist in that. But recently, the only thing that's ever come out in a theater, the only director that's ever come out in a theater that made anything remotely surrealist is David Lynch. And what was the last David Lynch film that you've seen?
He's creepy.
And Darren Aronofsky, the guy who did Mother, he did Noah, which was maybe the worst movie that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Have you seen The Fountain?
which is just barely above Noah. But Black Swan was wonderful, and Pi was one of the best movies ever made, and Requiem for a Dream, I almost threw up by the end, but it was one of those that it got you empathize.
Baby. It got you empathize
with the character as you're completely going with them down the rabbit hole or whatever. But Mother, it starts out as this regular horror movie type of thing, and it's really well made because it's like Black Swan, if Black Swan were a horror movie, where you're like...
I thought it was.
It was pretty horrific, yeah.
When you're completely empathizing with the main character, and you really don't want strangers to come into your house, but your husband keeps letting them in, and you just get this uncomfortable feeling in the back of your head, and there's no soundtrack, like no music in the background, there's not a single mirror in the entire movie, and it's like all close-ups of her the entire time. And the first half of the movie is like that, and then suddenly something happens and everything goes to shit. Like, it's completely insane. Like, she has a baby, and then all the worshippers of her husband go and take the baby and eat it, and it's real graphic how they eat the baby.
It's really bad.
It's real graphic.
Do they actually eat a baby?
Oh, they actually eat a baby.
It's real
graphic. And it's out of nowhere. Like, you don't see it coming.
Well, we do now.
No, you won't. Even watching it, you're like, oh, they're not actually going to eat the baby.
I'll be honest.
They actually eat the fucking baby.
Was it a dingo? Maybe a dingo ate your baby.
Crying and everything.
Maybe a dingo ate your baby.
But it just goes completely insane, and it makes it that much, and you're already empathizing with this main character so much, and it makes it that much better. And when I first saw it, I thought he went too far with it. And then I remembered all those surrealist films I watched in film school and all that, and I'm like, wait, let me think about that. I'm watching it again tomorrow, so I'll know more about how I really feel, but I'm thinking that it's...
You're going to see it again tomorrow?
I'm going to see it again tomorrow.
On purpose?
Yes, it was fantastic.
It sounds horrible.
Interesting. Very interesting.
You know what my up is?
No La La Land, but...
So that's your up?
That's my up.
Okay. Dave, you got an up? Driving to Cincinnati?
No, that's most definitely the down.
Cincinnati's a beautiful town.
Up. That there's beer here.
Yes, there is beer here.
Yeah, that's my up. And being on the show again.
Well, live. Not live, but...
actually here in person with you guys.
You can see the art take place.
Yes. And finally getting to meet Scab Jeff.
2 hours ago, you should have not seen this because it was a very ugly scene. I thought Jeff was going to start tossing tables. It was going to get ugly. I was a little worried.
Why isn't it working?
Because I wasn't here.
That's true. And you know how he fixed it? Reboot. The up for me is cosplayers. Jeff, what's yours?
Oh, an up.
Okay, good. You're done. My down is cosplayers dressed as La La Land.
Have you seen any?
One.
Oh, really?
They were in front of our booth and we didn't even know it.
Who was it in La La Land?
I don't know. It was a yellow dress. What the hell is that? And she's swinging a baseball bat. What is that? What's that? Is she Harley Quinn in La La Land?
Yellow dress sounds La La Landish.
She was. She was on Instagram saying she was La La Land.
I'm not sure about the bat.
She was probably stealing Harley Quinn's bat. Because they did that La La Land. Here they are.
That's the 3-6.
With BVS, come on, man.
It's terrible. It's terrible. That's what's wrong with it.
I'm out. You have a shepherd shirt? How the hell did you get a shepherd shirt?
People who can pronounce his name get shirts.
I can almost pronounce his name. Something. I feel a little chipped. That's a nice shirt, though.
It is, isn't it?
I like it.
Did you call him and say, I would like to talk to Andrea?
Maybe.
That's why you went wrong, man.
Yeah.
No.
That's why you got no shirt.
I would like to talk to somebody there? Yes. I think I let Jeff actually handle that intro. I try not to insult the guests that much. So, 365 guys, welcome.
Yeah, man.
You guys ready for a top 5 later? Top 5 most overrated wrestlers. Number 1 through 4, Undertaker. Number 5, Kane. So, here we go.
Well, you just ruined my list.
Oh, look, I'm a dead man!
All right. Big Dev had to leave, but Chris is sitting in.
Chris from 365 Flicks Podcast. Say good day.
Good day,
There you go.
Cheeky cunts.
That's right. The British version.
Yeah.
Say some people just want to watch the world burn.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
No. You did it wrong. Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Mine was bad.
You did it wrong. It's not men, it's people.
Okay.
Well,
It's men. It's men.
The quote is men. Although, I like the thing you put on Facebook of the some puppies.
I did. That wasn't me. That was Blake.
Oh, Blake put that one up? Some puppies just want to watch the world burn.
It was funny because I think I tweeted you this like 2-3 months ago. I was watching Batman on TV, and there was that quote, and I think I tweeted you saying, I think I've done it wrong for this long. Son of a bitch.
But you didn't change it though. You stuck to your principles.
That is my print. I'm sticking to it. Okay, so
You've won awards for that, haven't you?
I have floppies. You've won a floppy, haven't you?
I have not.
Oh yeah, you lost best written book to Gotham. Anyways,
Best written book? It was Best Zombies on Titanic book I lost to God.
that's right. That's what it was.
That's okay. I haven't won one either. So, the hell with these guys.
Chris had the betting odds against you. I want to see that.
So there was a payoff.
I want to take bets on this. Okay, so we're going to trivia. WWE trivia.
WWE trivia.
Okay, here we go.
Not any of that 80s bullshit. Current.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay.
This could go really badly.
What about 90s?
90s is okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
You gotta get 3 out of 5 to pick from the Nicolas Cage bag.
Okay.
Good luck getting that shit through customs. Okay. 1, 2, 3 kid joined the NWO. What was his name?
His WWE name.
No. When he joined the NWO and WCW, what did he become? What did he change his name to? 1, 2, 3 kid.
It's WWE.
It's WCW. Oh, you don't know WCW as much?
No, I don't watch WCW.
Oh, come on. He wasn't WWE. And then
He was
went to
X-Pac
WCW. And then went back.
He was 6 in NWO because of 1, 2, 3. It was clever. Fucking Bischoff. Anyways, okay, so I'll give you
That was because he was the 6th person to join the NWO.
whatever. Anyway.
WWE was called X-Pac. Does that count?
You know what? I'll give you that because I fucked that up. So that's 1, right? That's one. Okay. Let's see here. Previous to New Day having the longest tag team title reign, who had the record?
Demolition.
There's 2.
Fish.
Wow, I'm struggling here. Jeff, you got any questions down there?
Oh, no.
Okay, I'll do this one.
A wrestling.
What pay-per-view did Big Show make his appearance at for WWE? His debut. He came up through the ring.
Yeah, I remember.
Name that pay-per-view.
Son of a bitch.
That's a close title, but no. I'll give you a hint. Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon in a cage match.
I remember the match.
This is tough.
Oh, God. Right, wait a minute. It's not a timer, is there?
I got about 10 seconds.
I'm going to say No Mercy because I've got no idea.
St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Bollocks.
After The Rock took over the Nation of Domination, who was the leader of the Nation of Domination before The Rock formed a coup?
Farouk.
There you go. That's 3? That is 3. Congratulations. The Rock, I didn't know if you were going to know, because Farouk was such a weird character.
It was. So, do you prefer Farouk now, or well, kind of now, when he goes, BAM! Or Farouk back then?
I like the Nation of Domination. I like them. They didn't do enough with them.
Yeah.
Because then they had the freaking DOA that they were attacking. And like, remember them? 8-Ball and the Bikers.
Yeah.
And then you had Savio Vega's group, Los Barricas.
Didn't they come out to... One of those cars that went up and down.
Yeah.
That was crap.
And I got what they were trying to do. They were doing the gang war era, but they had the wrong teams. Like, you could have had the Nation, but then you should have had other better factions that people cared about. Because there's no good guys in that faction. Any of those factions nobody cared about.
DX was around the same time.
Yeah.
Didn't DX and Nation and Domination have a bit of a...
They did, but then Nation went on against Los Barricos and then the 8 Balls team. And I'm like, but nobody's a good guy of those three. Well, you gotta have a good bad guy, you gotta have a good guy. Sorry, it's just a little fresh. So, St. Valentine's Day Massacre holds a special place in my heart just because I love him coming up through the ring and throwing him out, Austin out.
Was that the match where it was for control of WWE?
No, I think that was just a blow-off match of Austin and McMahon because it was right before WrestleMania. That was a final match. The one you're talking about was a Money in the Bank. It was a ladder match.
Oh, and the briefcase got pulled up.
Yeah, nobody ever said who pulled the briefcase up.
Yeah.
Doug, you remember that?
What's that?
Austin went to grab the briefcase. Yes. Do you remember what Big Show debuted at? What pay-per-view for WWE?
St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Did you just hear me?
No.
Okay, good job.
I listen to wrestling podcasts.
I would have said that.
Okay.
You win nothing.
You win nothing, Doug. Chris gets a nice prize out of the Nicolas
I'm
Cage.
excited. Don't give me any DVDs though because I can't play it at home.
That's your fault.
Then don't pick what feels like a DVD when you're reaching in there.
I got something for him then.
Is it a dildo?
Phantom Menace, Episode 1, Emperor Palpatine.
I'm happy with that.
There you go.
Just hand them a toy from the back.
Why you get 2 DVDs? Get your damn British laws.
You get 3. Well, I only answered 4.
Favoritism.
Shut up.
If you want, I found some questions.
Oh, he found some questions
I
for
found
you.
some WWE questions.
All right, then, come on. Let's go.
Let's see if I'm getting this work.
Can I jump in too?
Sure, why not?
Okay, Jeff, Scab Jeff, you too. Because you know tons of wrestling.
He's like, why am I sitting here while they talk wrestling?
You a little intimidated?
So whoever answers first, did you get to ring in? Or?
No, whoever answers.
All right. Which superstar's entrance music contains the lyrics, "They broke the mold when they made me"?
China.
Nia Jax.
The Rock.
Okay, do you want the choices?
No. What's the answer?
If The Rock is one of the choices, it will be my answer.
None of your answers were one of the
If it's
choices.
not, I'll take A.
The choices are A, Shawn Michaels, B, Dolph Ziggler, C, Billy Gunn, or D, Mr. Perfect.
Billy Gunn.
Yeah, I'm going Billy Gunn.
Mr. Perfect.
It was Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, balls. Screw him.
Always go with A.
Always bet on black.
Which of the following championships has John Cena never held? A, Intercontinental Championship, B, United States Championship, C, WWE Tag Team Championship, or D, WWE World Tag Team Championship?
A.
C.
It was A, Intercontinental.
Hey.
Give us 2 more. Come on.
Edge and Christian's famous 5-second poses were, according to them, for the benefit of those with blank.
Flash photography.
Yeah, flash photography.
Flash photography.
We need to do a team here.
We should.
True or false, at 25 years, 1 month, 13 days old, Yokozuna became the youngest WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Ooh. Say that again, Jeff. I didn't hear that.
At 25 years, 1 month, 13 days old, Yokozuna became the youngest WWE Heavyweight Champion.
False.
False.
I'm going false.
It is false. Do you know who has the...
Randy Orton.
Nope, not according to this.
Lesnar.
Hulk Hogan.
It was Lesnar who I heard.
Oh, crap.
That's right. Well done, Jeff.
Which former member of the Shield is the only one to have held the Intercontinental Championship?
Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's Dean Ambrose.
Good job.
Hey-oh.
Good job. And that's how you do it here. Chris wins a Star Wars figure, don't take that out of the box.
No, it might be worth something.
It's not. Because I had about 50 of those because I thought they would be taking care of my retirement fund, and then I realized that they're about worth $7. So
that much?
That one might be worth $5, and I paid $8. So
At least it's not Jar Jar.
I actually tried to look for Jar Jar and I couldn't find him. I think he might be in our Bob Studios. So I bought. No, my son really wanted to play Star Wars, and so he started doing chores, and I started giving them, and my wife's like, "Are they worth it?" And I was like, "No." In fact, we lost money on the investment. Good thing I didn't know you at the time, but we lost money on the investment. Scab Jeff, you got any toys that you give to your kids? Any old toys? Any La La Land characters or anything? Action figures?
That's not an old movie.
Should be. It's based in the old feeling. Anyways, do you got any old toys that you gave him?
When my Xbox 360, all of the Xbox 360 games go to him.
What about action figures?
Action figures.
Did you have any growing up?
I did, but they're all at my parents' house, so he has all the G.I. Joes and the Star Wars characters. G.I. Joe's apparently, after a certain amount of time, that rubber band that holds the entire system together just deteriorates and comes apart. Yeah. So if you touch them after, say, 20, 30 years, they just break apart into many pieces, and then it's traumatizing for a young boy who thinks that this hero person is going to save the day from Cobra, but no.
Barbecue, his legs on Barbecue broke off. And I don't know where my other G.I. Joes are at, to be honest with you, anymore.
The only one that stayed together was Serpentor. They had that long tail.
Oh, yeah. I always liked it. He had the rubber tail, right?
Yeah, he had a long rubber tail.
Did you guys have G.I. Joe back in the UK?
No, I don't think. Did we have G.I. Joe? I can't really. We had Action Man, which is kind of the same sort of thing.
Okay. Did you have like a lot of them, like the 3 3/4 figures, or were they the tall ones?
They were both.
Okay.
Both, I think. I was more of a He-Man kind of guy. So.
Did you see the He-Man booth over there? They have tons of action figures.
Oh, god damn it.
They don't have a Fisto, though.
Could you answer wrestling questions to win one?
No, I don't think so. There's a Fisto.
Fisto.
His legs are broken off. Did you not like Fisto? Do you not like He-Man, Kevin?
Well, you're wrong.
If you don't realize by now, I don't like
Killing me.
That would explain the whole La La Land thing.
That movie explains itself. Twice.
No, it doesn't.
You haven't even seen it.
So Chris had to leave. He did the trivia. He won an Emperor Palpatine. I think it was before he would be Emperor Palpatine. It was Darth Sidious, actually.
Oh, it was a Darth Sidious.
Yeah. So let's do some news of the geek here. You ready, Jeff, for this?
Yeah, let's go ahead and shoot.
Okay. Let's see. Per the Washington Post, the steps of the Lincoln Memorial have been the scene of solemn protest for decades. But when one man shouted, "Show us your butthole," on Saturday, September 9th, it was clear that the Juggalo, how do you say it?
Juggalos.
March on Washington was going to be like no other. Tattooed, pierced, and wearing clown makeup, hundreds of fans of the rap metal group Insane Clown Posse gathered at the storied location to protest the FBI's labeling the fan base a gang in 2011. So basically, Insane Clown Posse marched on Washington just to hear...
That would be Washington?
Whatever. I don't understand what you're saying. So...
That guy looks just like David Attenborough from Jurassic Park.
He does, actually. The cosplay.
Well, wait till he turns around. I'd be surprised if he weren't.
Do you think it is him?
He's dead, right?
Yeah, but you know, zombie.
If he weren't, I would be very convinced that he were.
So, you know, I thought it was funny that they were labeled a gang because they said they're being, they've lost jobs, they've lost, careers because of this.
Yeah, one woman says she lost custody of her children because she went to a ICP concert.
Yes.
And it was talked about on Facebook, and since that's considered a gang, like they use that against her in court that she's part of this gang.
Yeah, I don't get it.
That seems a little extreme. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Insane Clown Posse, but
Is anybody?
I wouldn't say... Yes, apparently there are. But I wouldn't say that people should lose custody of their children if they are.
I think I do appreciate them going to this march because Gil, one of the guys there said, one of the organizers said, the Juggalo march is like the Boston Tea Party for music fans. and they had a sign that says Fago, not fascism. So I appreciate the creativity in the signs, at least. I think they should be labeled again because they drink Fago. I'll be honest, that stuff is nasty. It's like Yoo-Hoo. Ugh. God.
Fago and Yoo-Hoo aren't alike.
None of them. Nobody likes Yoo-Hoo. Does anyone like Yoo-Hoo?
I don't like chocolate milk, carbonated chocolate milk, so not really.
It's too bubbly.
But that's not what Fago is.
The British guy who was here, the 365 podcast guy, he probably likes Yahoo.
I could see that.
Kevin, because he doesn't like any.
Because he doesn't like La La Land.
It's true. It's true.
It's just ridiculous.
Help me out here. Who is that in front of
ridiculous.
us? That cosplayer. The one with the tree on her head. I'm a little worried.
I see it. I don't know. I don't even recognize it. It doesn't even ring a bell.
Okay, moving on. So yes, sorry ICP fans.
So apparently, way earlier in this recording, Scam Jeff had mentioned he had a down he wanted to discuss.
Yes, Jeff, what's your down? We apologize for that.
Well, it's not going to work now that we're out of the flows, but my down was, so I was watching movies on Hulu the other day, and I decided to watch Wrath of Khan again. I hadn't seen it in a long time. And it's still a good movie. I'm not saying anything bad about Wrath of Khan. But does anybody remember the scene in there where there's that bug thing and they take the thing and put it in the ear?
Still creeps me out.
So I woke up this morning, and you know those silverfish bug things that look like they have all those legs that look just like that bug in Wrath of Khan that went in the ear?
Yeah.
I woke up and it was in my bed. It was on the blanket, and it could have crawled in my ear.
It could have?
Because I slept. And then Khan would have had complete control over me.
Is this Khan from Star Trek 2 or Benedict Cumberbatch Khan?
Star Trek 2.
Star Trek 2.
Okay. We're just never going to talk about the Benedict Cumberbatch Khan.
That wasn't called Wrath of Khan.
What was that crap called?
Into Darkness?
Yeah, whatever. Not colon, though. No colon. That was a big debate.
Well, they should put a colon because then we have to say colon.
Well, that's true.
So, is there a colon in Wrath of Khan?
Star Trek 2, The Wrath of...
I think there is. If I remember the VHS cover, I think there is. We got a good-looking Star-Lord and Gamora coming. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
And they have Baby Groot on them. I like it. I like it. Sort of like... Can we get a picture? Ah. Awesome, guys. They even have Baby Groot on it. How awesome is that?
Can't argue about Baby Groot.
No, never. Okay, we're with Lisa here. She's going to do our trivia. Welcome.
Thank you.
You want to do Firefly?
Yes, please.
Okay. Here we go. We got some questions. Which member of the Serenity crew has a gun named Vera?
Jane Powell.
That is correct.
That wasn't easy. Come on, give her hard questions. She knows if she's seen an episode of Firefly.
Well, we're starting off easy.
What was the ship Serenity named after? And I got some options here.
The Battle of Serenity. The Captain Mal fought in, and they lost.
You're correct. Okay, never mind.
That was an easy one.
Here we go.
Okay, you're going to lose another prize in your Nicolas Cage bag here.
Which of these folks did not write an episode of Firefly?
Okay, this is a good one.
Yeah, now he's getting hard.
Okay, I'll give you this one.
Jane Espenson, Brett Matthews, David Solomon, Tim Minear.
I know for sure. So David Solomon.
You're on David Solomon. That is going to be, let me check here. You're correct. Well, that was easy.
Do we want to go for 5 and get a good
Do you want to keep going?
I get a good
You can get a good prize if you get all 5 right.
Okay. Well, do I already get my 3 prize if
Yes.
I don't?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, then yes.
Which features...
She's not putting everything at risk
Oh,
here.
yeah.
If you saw what's in the bag, you would. Which feature star had one of his first roles as the young Simon in Ariel, episode named Ariel? Zac Efron, Justin Bieber, Kellen Lutz or Taylor Lautner? Oh, God.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
It's the young Simon.
Okay, so now this didn't air, right?
I guess not. As a young Simon.
It was a flashback of when Simon and River were children.
Okay.
They want to know who played the young Simon.
Oh, so we get to give clues now.
Well, that's what the question is asking.
I had no idea either.
Okay.
We're going Zach.
Can't be Taylor Lautner.
Has he done anything?
Besides
and I'm going to discount Justin Bieber because I hate him, so we're not going to root for him.
I'm going to go with Zac Efron.
You are correct.
That's 4. One more.
Okay, this is the big one.
Okay.
Which villain from the TV series reappears in the comic book Those Left Behind? Jubal Early, Lawrence Dobson, Saffron, and Adeli Niska. Niska, yeah.
Niska.
So the last 3 questions were good.
Yes.
You like those?
If she gets these, it's impressive.
She does deserve it.
So
okay, see, the
Niska,
problem is I have 1, 3, and 4 of the books. I'm here today to buy 2, so I haven't read any of them yet until I complete them. So I haven't looked through. I'm going to say it's either Saffron or Niska. I'm going to say Saffron.
It is Dobson.
I got it.
Wasn't even in her top 2.
Thank you.
You do not go home empty-handed.
Oh, I get the Nicolas Cage
bag.
Right.
Now, I apologize for anything in there.
Okay.
Let's see what you got here.
Let's see, what did I get?
Oh!
Ewok Adventures.
The Ewok Adventures of Star Wars.
Ewok Adventures.
The Battle of Endor. So cool.
And it's still in its wrapping.
It is still in its
In the original casing.
That's right. We are never to open this.
You should.
Oh, you want to step up? You think you can do it, huh? If I have raised you right.
Okay, we're with Matthew, Lisa's son here, and he's going to do Big Bang Theory quiz.
Ready.
all right.
You need 3 out of 5. Go ahead, Jeff.
We got Big Bang Theory.
Wait. Are you sure it's her son and not her husband?
It's definitely her son. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it really would be.
What is Sheldon doing during his daily 20-minute time period that he spends locked in a Caltech basement office that Raj and Howard are unable to discover?
Options?
Options: transporting himself through a wormhole looking for alien life forms, taking a nap, practicing yoga, or playing hacky sack.
Number 4.
Playing hacky sack?
Yes.
Correct.
That's 1.
Wait, there was a call out to the crowd there.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's fine.
It's phone a friend, yes. You're fine.
What does Sheldon buy Amy to apologize for ignoring her good news that her paper will be on the cover of Neuron magazine?
What was that question again? I'm sorry.
What did Sheldon buy
Amy to apologize for ignoring her good news?
For ignoring her good news.
That her paper would be on the
I
cover.
think I kind of remember that one.
What's the options?
The options are A, tiara, B, a Green Lantern power ring, C, a sweater, or D, a sensible pair of
A tiara, of course.
It is a tiara.
She said,
The tiara, that's right. Yeah.
We're up to 2.
I sense more help from the crowd.
But I know that episode. I mean, I definitely know that one.
What is Stewart's self-proclaimed dream job that he lands after the comic book store burns down due to a hot plate incident?
Okay.
Stewart's here, isn't he?
Yeah, he is here today. That's awesome.
get this right.
The choices are Mrs. Wolowitz's caregiver, grooming Raj's dog Cinnamon full-time,
Cinnamon.
running his rival's comic book store, or dressing up as Goofy at Disneyland.
Goofy. Oh, let me think. That's definitely not that one. It's I'd say I'm taking care of Sheldon of Howard's mom. I'd say.
Yep, Mrs. Wolowitz's caregiver.
Yes.
Correct.
That's 3.
Good.
We're going for the perfect one now.
Okay.
Only 2 people have done this so far.
Okay.
This is
I'm
more
ready.
of a team effort, though.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm ready for this one.
Have you seen what we got to give away? Come on. We're trying to get rid of.
I still haven't gotten anything out of the bag.
Yeah.
What change sets Sheldon off the moment he enters the apartment after returning from his life on the rails?
Oh, I remember that.
Is it A, Penny's new haircut? B, Raj's girlfriend is there? C, the furniture's been rearranged? Or D, Bernadette is in his spot?
It's got to be D, because I just know how he feels about that spot.
I'm going to guess A. I'm going to guess A.
I'm going to say it's probably A.
It was A. It was Penny's new haircut.
Yeah.
That's okay. You got 3.
Nobody liked that haircut.
Yes.
You want to go for a 5th one? Oh,
Sure.
4th one. See if you got the 4 out of 5.
Sure.
What does Penny call Sheldon's mobile virtual presence device that he builds once he determines he won't live long enough to download his consciousness into a robot? Does she call it the Shermanator, Robo Sheldon, Shellbot, or Shelldroid?
Shellbot.
It was Shellbot, yeah.
Awesome.
That was a good job. That was a good job. You get to pick out a bag. There's just not movies in there. There's other stuff. The Devil's Advocate. Would you like to take it back and get something else? Let's get something else in there.
Let's get something more age appropriate.
Sorority boys may not be the best. You know what? Here. How about a car?
Spider-Man.
Let's do that.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for stopping by. You too. Okay, so that's how easy it is. Again, you think it's easy, but they lose. They get greedy and go for the 5th one and can't do it. They can't do it.
I totally want to try it.
You want to do some trivia?
You can do obscure surrealist films from the 60s or silent films or just not wrestling.
Okay. John Cena versus Roman Reigns this weekend. Who wins?
Who?
John Cena versus Roman Reigns.
I said no wrestling.
No, that's all we're doing. What's your favorite silent film?
Un Chien Andalou. It's an old Salvador Dali film with Louis Buñuel that was about this guy just trying to get laid. And it's completely off the wall. Sunset was good. The
Birth of a Nation
was not. There was something a little off with that, with the whole racism thing. Like, not even trying to hide it. Like it's real bad. Yes, it's important, but bad.
I remember watching that in a films class, and I was like, "Dear God in heaven, how is this still a thing?"
Well, it's the first thing to ever do a close-up. But we've had close-ups since then, so let's just forget about this one. This dark stain on the past of film studies.
Okay, rapid fire. Charlie Chaplin, overrated or underrated?
Or perfectly rated?
Or perfectly rated.
I'd say a little overrated. Not a lot of. Buster Keaton was the star, but
okay.
Charlie Chaplin was good.
A little overrated. Okay. Let's see here. How about Mary Stuart Masterson? Overrated, underrated, or just rated?
I haven't heard much about her.
So maybe
20
underrated?
years, so I'd say just about right rated.
Okay. We're going with that.
Was she in Groundhog Day?
No,
that was Andy McDowell. Overrated, underrated, or just rated? Andy McDowell. Which one, Scab?
I'd say Overrated.
Okay.
She was billed as someone who was hotter than she actually was.
Okay.
Well, she was overrated at the time. I think history has not been all that kind to her.
We're going to put our...
Okay, but if that's the case, if she's... I haven't really heard much about Andy McDowell in the last 20 years either. So
neither has her agent. So it's okay.
If her reputation has gone downhill, I would say...
Sure.
I would say that maybe a little underrated.
So, we got a news article, since it is News of the Geek. We got this covered.com has the most intriguing Marvel movies that never were made. They were on the agenda, but never got finished. They were Fantastic Four. Peyton Reed, the director of Ant-Man, wanted to direct a Fantastic Four movie in 2003. Reed thought of the four as a daytime superheroes and everyone coming together for a big New York shattering climax. He even outlined his dream cast. Alexis Denisoff as Mr. Fantastic. Do we know who that is?
I do not.
John C. Reilly.
She's here, isn't she?
Yes, that's a guy.
Oh, Mr. Fantastic.
John C. Reilly as the Thing. I'm not sure about that.
I like that.
You like
that idea?
Let's see. The late Paul Walker as the Human Torch. I could see that.
I don't like it. It sounds a lot like the Human Torch and the one, not the most recent one, but
the one before that. Johnny Storm. Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans.
It's kind of ironic he did become a Human Torch. Anyways, best of all. Too soon? Too soon?
No, there's never a time for that.
Let's see. Best of all, he hoped to get Charlize Theron as the Invisible Woman.
That's pretty much the same as what's her face?
Jessica Alba. Yeah. Much better than,
except Jessica Alba is like a darker skinned lady with very terribly blonde, blonde hair. That Jessica Alba is just so much more beautiful as a dark haired woman.
Yeah, but
I thought they ruined her by throwing that blonde wig or bleaching her hair or whatever they did.
I think they ruined that show just by
Sounds
making
kind of sexist that you're basing the whole character of the Invisible Woman on the skin tone and hair of the actress who plays her.
Maybe it is. Well, she's also not that good of an actress. So.
You're right. I would give you Charlize Theron is a much better actress than Jessica Alba.
I was trying to give Jessica Alba as big of a compliment as I could without saying she was a good actress.
Because you want her on the show.
I do want her on the show.
I don't know if he's sexist, but it sounds harassed. We're going with that. We got an update. Blake is on his way. Ooh. He'll be here in an hour.
That's bad news for Scab Blake.
That's right. We still want you around, so Scab Jeff is good. Are you going to look around, Scab Jeff, at all?
I will eventually,
okay.
yes.
Okay. I don't want to keep you for anything, so...
I paid $350 to get in here.
Oh, from the scalpers?
Yeah.
Oh. They were selling them for $40 at the door. Let's see here. Bryan Singer, Matthew Vaughn, X-Men 3. Singer originally developed a story treatment for the film with X-Men 2 writers Dan Harris, and Michael Daltrey. His version would have concentrated on Jean Grey, who was manipulated by Emma Frost. Emma Frost would have been played by Sigourney Weaver. That would have been interesting.
I never liked the Jean Grey character, like in the old comic books.
Yeah.
Like that was what X-Men was what I actually read back when I read comic books and the cartoon series that was on in the 90s. Or was that? Yeah, it was 90s. And Jean Grey was always this huge part of it, but I never liked her. She was always like Superman to me, like the one who had all the superpowers and everything and didn't really
have any weakness.
Right, and she was always the nice person. She didn't really have the depth. I never liked Jean Grey or the Phoenix or...
And it's the same thing like with Jean Grey and Professor X. If you can manipulate people's mind, why aren't you doing it every time?
I liked Professor X.
He kind of got whiny. I would have been okay if they killed him off in the cartoon. This is the one that I like, Doctor Strange. Jeff, Scab Jeff, you'll like this one. Several attempts at a Doctor Strange film, including a Wes Craven version. That would have been interesting. I'm kind of intrigued by it. You don't like Wes Craven, do you?
No, I like Wes Craven. He did Nightmare on Elm Street, right?
Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, yeah. I think he would have had a fun take on it. Before that, back to
he's had some.
He's hit or miss.
Yeah, and I think this is very much a miss type of film. If you're a hit or miss director and you try to do Doctor Strange, it's going to miss.
I thought the newest version of Doctor Strange they did well on.
I think they did too, but that wasn't a hit or miss type of director. That was an all or nothing type of director.
Yes,
like, if you fail here, you're not going to get another job in the business.
I think, and I don't care about Doctor Strange, but I thought it was a good movie. It made me care about the character.
It was an interesting movie. I did not dislike it.
Jeff, did you like it?
Oh, I really liked it. Like for someone who was never into the character of Doctor Strange, it gave him something I never saw in the comics. You know, you understood a little more because I never followed him particularly, so he would just pop up as, you know, this all-powerful mystic guy, and he'd solve a problem and then disappear again, and it was good to see.
He'll be the new leader of the Avengers once the next two movies are done. He's a new generation leader, they said. Let's see, there's another one. Back to the Future's Bob Gale wrote a never-produced script in the 80s. This is one of those movies that never should have happened in the 80s. Doctor Strange, it could have only been bad in the 80s.
I never saw that one, but it looks terrible.
There's another one, Doctor Strange movie from director-writer team of Guillermo del Toro and Neil Gaiman. The pair first became attached to the project once David Gore of The Dark Knight dropped out in 2002. Not much is known about the duo's take on the character, but could you imagine Del Toro and Gaiman both doing it?
That would be very interesting.
That would have been trippy. It probably would have been 6 hours long because it's Del... Oh, no, that's Peter Jackson, my bad. Not Del Toro, my bad.
There's a slight difference between Guillermo del Toro.
This is, in his defense, though, they do look very similar.
They do.
Thank you. They would both look like hobbits.
No, they don't look like hobbits. But they look very similar.
Thank you.
Like, I am not sure that if they were both standing in front of me right now, I would be able to tell the difference.
I think you would because Peter Jackson lost a lot of weight.
Okay, then I did not know that. I'm stuck in a decade ago.
Spider-Man 4, before the Amazing Spider-Man 3, there was no Amazing Spider-Man 3. There was another Spidey franchise which was canceled due to the last installment, falling short of expectations. This is the one with Tobey Maguire. Sam Raimi actually put a stop to the project because he did not like the studio interfering with the third one. Vulture is the main villain, played by John Malkovich, which I remember that. They said Anne Hathaway was signed on to play Felicia Hardy, and she would have been Black Cat. Some said she would have been the Vulturess, but I kept hearing that it was Black Cat. I would have, instead she went and became Catwoman. So the same character, basically, without white hair. And, sorry about that, we're back. We actually have the Batman, who was on episode 195, taking the quiz, the trivia.
What is up? Good to be back, guys.
I feel like if I close my eyes, it's Kevin Conroy.
I believe Kevin Conroy is more like this.
Again,
it's like, I am vengeance. I am the knight. I am Batman.
But not today. You're dressed as the Red Hood.
I know.
What is up with that?
Well, I can do the Under the Red Hood quote, too.
I want to do that. Let's see.
It's like, Bruce, I forgive you for not saving me. But why? Why on God's earth is he still alive? It's like...
you know what, Jeff? It feels like me and him might do an impression off.
Uh-oh.
I'm not doing it, but I could. I could. So what is it about... You're dressed as the Red Hood today.
Yes.
See on our Facebook page. Why the Red Hood?
Because the Red Hood is like a character all about vengeance, more so than Batman.
Mm-hmm.
As in, I died. Life isn't so special the second time around.
Okay.
So he takes more of the authoritarian kill or be killed take on crime fighting.
Did you watch? Did you watch the cartoon, the DC cartoon of Under the Red Hood?
That's where the quote came from.
Okay, yeah. Let me tell you, I watched it, and I got a 7-year-old, and he didn't watch it yet. And so I got it, and I started watching it. When he throws the severed heads in the gym,
he's like, those are the heads of all your lieutenants.
I was like, whoa! And then you see the blood seeping through the luggage.
He was like,
and I'm like,
he's like, that took me 2 hours.
Yes.
You want to see what I can get done in a whole evening? So make no mistake. I'm not asking you to kick in with me. I'm telling you.
I was hesitant when they brought the Red Hood back. Jason Todd. Sorry.
I wasn't. I was just like, well, crap. Well, because I'm younger than most.
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, shoot. Red Hood but Jason Todd came back. What's next? Is Tim going to leave? And then all of a sudden Tim leaves. And now he's Red Robin. So I'm like, yay. All my favorites are leaving. And then we got Damian.
I think everyone can say Damian is awful.
Yes.
Can we all agree with that?
Can we all agree that Damian is awful, please?
Scab Jeff, tell us Damian is awful.
Awful?
Awful.
Who's Damian?
Just say Damian. Just say Damian is awful.
Damian is awesome.
Why you gotta kick back, man?
I have no idea what's going on here.
Damian Wayne, the newest Robin, the current Robin, is awful.
Okay.
We're talking comic books.
Okay, I apologize. I'm not... I have no idea what I'm talking about.
The cinema guys are here and they know Damian sucks.
Sure.
Just say yes. Just say yes.
Just say yes. That's all you gotta say.
Yes.
There you go. There's no reason for Damian.
I really think in every animated movie or TV show, they skip my boy Tim. I'm like, hold on. First Robin to get his own solo series, not a miniseries behind Batman like Dick Grayson.
Correct.
The Robin to snap Batman out of his almost killjoy.
Yep.
And 3, come on, he was the only Robin who knew Bruce was alive.
Yes, but he's
like during the after Tower of Babel. After he died, somewhat.
Dick Grayson though was the only one that was dating Starfire. Back me up there, Jeff.
Okay,
I can't swear to that.
Okay, but we can also attest to that Red Hood also dated Talia al Ghul. The mother of Bruce's kid.
Who are you going with? Talia al Ghul or Starfire?
Hey, I'm just saying, one owns half the world, one can destroy half the world. I'd rather own it first before I destroy it.
I'm going under the... I'd probably rather not hang out with evil people.
Okay.
If I'm going to be hanging out, looking up, I think I have to go for someone with a pure heart.
But that means you also have to deal with her sister, Blackfire.
Again, what we talked about last episode.
But I'm not the one who's like being friendly with Blackfire, hooking up with Blackfire.
Yeah. Scab Jeff, who are you going with?
Well, when it goes to hooking up, it's the bad ones that are usually the best in that situation.
You. That is true.
Thank you. We're 2 for 2. We need a tiebreaker here. We need a random person.
I'm going Starfire. Who are you going with? Starfire or Talia al Ghul?
I don't even know who either of them are.
Just pick one.
No.
I'm going to go Starfire because he
sounds
cooler.
There you go.
That's not fair. That wasn't based on any facts.
You should have said, would you rather have a good girl or a bad girl?
That's literally what you should have said. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a tough choice. I mean...
Can I just join this podcast for time, please? I'll just be the comic guy. I'd love to just come back again.
We'll be here tomorrow, too.
I'm coming back again. I'm definitely coming back. All right, but weren't we supposed to be talking about like Marvel movies? It should
It doesn't matter.
We go right from Marvel to DC. We just don't care anymore.
Do you like Nightwing?
I love Nightwing.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure. Because we talked about the Nightwing movie last week. Last episode.
And did you hear about the TV show? The Titan show?
The Teen Titans, yes.
All right, the live action show, not the...
I'll see that.
Multipass.
I'll see that when I believe it.
All right, well, I
believe it when I see it.
They've already been casted.
What's that?
They've already been casted to the Titan show.
I believe it when I see it. I'm all for it.
All right.
I just don't know if it's going to happen.
But we're waiting on Beast Boy. We have Hawk and Dove. We have Nightwing. We have Starfire. We have Raven. We're waiting on Beast Boy. And in my opinion, Beast Boy could make or break their cast.
You know, they have little Imaginext figures that used to be the superheroes. They now have Teen Titans version.
Oh no!
They have the Imaginext. They have Beast Boy, and he's riding a rhino, I think.
Wow, Beast Boy riding a rhino.
I think it's a green version.
That's suggestive as hell.
Yes, it is. So
the thing is, he can transform into animals. That's why it's suggestive.
He could.
So I left to go to the bathroom, and I come back, and there's Dentine Ice and Icebreaker Sours right in front of me. Are you trying to say something?
Icebreaker Sour?
That's actually mine. These have been out for over an hour.
They were sitting right in front of me.
Right here.
They were not sitting right in front of me before I left.
No, they were.
You probably unconsciously pushed him over toward me.
Surprise out of our...
Thank you. Sarah. Thank you for the handful. Thank you.
Not unless you're telling me that I need to.
I'm very, as I've talked about on this 365 podcast, I'm very into good breath, good hygiene. So, let's see. We'll finish this up here because we're almost done at the end of our podcast here. You came in at the end.
Oh, well, you always say the best for last.
That's right. Hey, we'll do this. We'll move on to movies coming out this week. This would be October 6th, this coming Friday. Scab Jeff's favorite movie, My Little Pony, is coming out.
Is it a cartoon or is it live action? I hope it's live action.
I do not want to see a live action.
I don't want to see a live action My Little Pony.
How could you not want to see a live action My Little Pony?
It's just imagine a grown woman, literally, who's getting paid to wear a tail and a unicorn horn.
Have you seen the expo here? We've seen that.
Do they have horns? Do My Little Pony have horns?
Sorry, they do that for fun because they want to, and that's their passion. But this is a person who's just like, oh, I'll take money.
I feel like that.
Did My Little Pony have horns?
I don't know.
Rainbow Dash.
There you go.
I only know the one.
It's been too long.
I know two. It's Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie.
And glue.
Okay, is Rainbow Bright coming out with a new one too?
I'm sure it would. You know, I mean,
next week.
No.
Are they competing against one another?
No. Well, The Mountain Between Us is coming out. I have no idea what that is.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, no, that's the one with Idris Elba and, what's her name? It looks very interesting. Now I can't remember.
I have no idea.
I vote Idris Elba for Green Lantern.
Take him as Bond.
But,
either one works.
But it's a drama, so...
No. And Blade Runner 2049.
I honestly...
Cinema Guys is saying yes. He's over there.
Honestly, I don't care for it.
Well, out of that selection, I would say Blade Runner 2049 is the one that I'm most likely to see.
How funny would it be if Blade Runner loses at the box office to My Little Pony?
Oh, that would be
It's a kid's movie.
That'd be funny. Well, there are a lot of children who watch this kinds of stuff. So
it's a kids movie versus a Fringe remake.
That's true.
I wasn't sold on Blade Runner until I saw The Arrival. After I saw that and saw who's directing it.
It's the same director?
Same director. I'm like, all right.
Okay, I've got a little more hope now.
Is it Ryan Gosling in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was in La La Land.
Well, I'm not going to hold that against him. Because he has some damn good abs. I'm secure in myself to say he has some damn good abs.
I'm not sure where. Oh, Friday Night Lights. Where have you seen Ryan Gosling's abs?
Oh, the one with Steve Carell and Emma Stone.
Crazy Stupid Love.
Thank you.
Crazy Stupid. Oh, I
So you've seen Crazy Stupid Love?
And don't you dare mock Crazy Stupid Love.
I'm not sure I've seen it.
You for that.
I'm not sure I've seen it.
Crazy Stupid Love is amazing.
That's the one. Oh yeah, that was Emma Stone also.
Yeah. I
Emma
love
Stone
Crazy
and Ryan
Stupid Love.
Gosling, where he's got his shirt off and she's like, "Is this Photoshop?"
Yeah. I like how you did the hand.
Yeah, I was doing the.
So guys, back me up on that.
Crazy Stupid Love is a good movie.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. So that's it. We don't have a top 5 this week. We will have one next week, I think, maybe.
Number one's Justice League.
Just that's it. That's the top 5.
That's the top 5. It's all 5 movies in one.
Top 5 cosplayers we can see right now.
Top 5 cosplayers.
Where do we got to start? Start at number 5.
Number 5. Let's see. I don't know who that is. I don't know who any of you.
I see a Pikachu.
G.I. Joe.
That's pretty good.
I'm going Cobra.
Pikachu at number 5.
Spider-Man, number 4.
Riddler.
Where's Riddler?
There's a Riddler behind the cinema guy here. We got Riddler, Catwoman, and Penguin. We've got.
We hoping that's the top 3.
Now we need 2 and 1.
We need 2. I'll do Red Hood for number 2.
Oh, I was doing that for number 1. You stole my number 1.
Thank you.
We'll do number 1.
All right, I'm number 1.
And I'm picking that guy dressed as a podcaster sitting right there.
Where?
Right there.
I'm going Shipwreck. He's got a parrot.
Oh, well, yeah. You got an animal.
So, Batman, thanks for coming on.
Hey.
We'll be here tomorrow.
I will be here tomorrow.
We'll be here. And Scab Jeff, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Scab.
And Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
From Walking Dead to Talking Heads, from comic books to TV sets, there's a history. It's not so bad. There's the history. It's the history of bad, so bad. The history of bad, it's bad. The history of bad ideas. Oh,
addendum.
Addendum, the first thing I'm doing is changing my number one in the costume because we saw that scarecrow walk by.
There's a kid, like 10 years old, in a creepy-ass scarecrow. That was pretty impressive.
Terrifying.
It was. This is...
like they should put him in a movie type of thing.
Yes.
It would be that much scarier because it's a kid.
He could be in Gotham.
Kid versions of all the band movies.
Let's see here, addendum. I only had one title. Don't run into an Anakin.
I had two titles written down. It has fruit and overly carroted.
I didn't have any, but overly carroted is by far the best out of those.
I will go with overly carroted. It is.
So this episode is titled Overly Carroted.